Welcome viewers. In this video lecture, I will explain 3D geometric transformations. Methods for geometric transformations and object modeling in 3D are extended from 2D methods by including the considerations for Z coordinates. So, there are various types of 3D transformations like 3D translation, 3D scaling, 3D rotation, 3D reflection and 3D shearing. For this, to understand these 3D transformation, I will suggest you that first of all you should be familiar with 2D transformations. If you want to learn in detail about 2D transformations, then you can watch my previous video lectures about 2D transformations, about homogeneous coordinates, fixed point scaling, fixed point rotations, etc. So, now we will start with 3D translation. In a 3D homogeneous coordinate representation, a point is translated from position P equal to x, y, z to position P dash, which is x dash, y dash, z dash. The standard matrix can be derived like 100tx, 010ty and 001tz, 0001. This is the standard translation matrix with the help of which we can translate any object in 3D. The next one is 3D scaling. What is the scaling? With the help of scaling, we can increase or reduce the size of any object. Since this is 3D scaling, so we can increase or reduce the size of any 3D object. For example, in this example, there is a cuboid and we have performed the scaling with cuboid. For 3D scaling, you have to specify three scaling factors which are Sx, Sy and Sz, and we get what is uniform scaling and differential scaling. If we assign the same values to Sx, Sy and Sz, then we get the uniform scaling and the original shape of the object is preserved with the help of uniform scaling. We can assign any positive value to Sx, Sy and Sz. If the values of Sx, Sy and Sz are different from each other, then it will be differential scaling, and in that case the original shape of the object will not be preserved. If you keep the values of Sx, Sy and Sz as less than 1, for example 1/2 or 1/4, then the size of the object will be reduced after scaling. And if you put the values of Sx, Sy and Sz as greater than 1 like 2, 3, 4 etc., in that case the object size, the 3D object size will be increased. In this way we can perform the scaling on 3D objects with the help of this standard scaling matrix. Here where we have put the column matrix for the point, here we can keep the object matrix of any 3D object like cuboid, cube or pyramid etc. Now what is relative scaling, or you can say general scaling, or you can say the scaling about a fixed point. So we can scale an object, a 3D object along with the help with respect to a fixed point also, as in the 2D scaling. So for that we have to follow various sequence of a sequence of steps. In the first step we will translate the fixed point to the origin so that the fixed point coincides with the origin. This will be our first step. For that the scaling factors will be, translation factors will be minus xf, minus yf and minus zf. With the help of this matrix, the object will be translated and the fixed point will coincide with the origin. In the second step, we will scale the object about origin, because the standard matrix scales the object about the origin. So after performing scaling, we have to perform the inverse translation, means we have to translate the object back to its original position. For that the translation factors, that is Tx, Ty and Tz, will be xf, yf and zf respectively. Now we come to 3D rotation. For rotation, along with the angle of rotation, now we need to specify the axis of rotation also. In 2D rotation, we only need to specify the angle of rotation. In 3D rotation also, we can perform counterclockwise rotation also and the clockwise rotation also. If you are performing counterclockwise rotation, then the angle will be taken as positive, and if you are performing the clockwise rotation, then the angle of rotation will be taken as negative. Now there are three coordinate axes, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, which are principal axes and about which we can perform the rotations, and for which the standard matrix is already defined. And we can also perform the general 3D rotation, that is the rotation about an axis that is parallel to one of the coordinate axes. This general 3D rotation can be performed with the help of composite transformation. Now the z-axis rotation is given by this matrix. This is the z-axis rotation. This is the matrix for standard matrix for x-axis rotation. This is the x-axis rotation. And this is the rotation matrix for y-axis, and this is the y-axis rotation. In this way you can perform the rotations about any principal axis. If you have the value of angle of rotation, you can put the values of cos theta and sin theta, and you can perform the rotation about any axis of any 3D object. Now suppose you want to perform a general 3D rotation, then you have to follow these steps. Rotation about an axis which is parallel to one of the coordinate axes. First of all, you need to translate the object so that rotation axis coincides with the parallel coordinate axis. Any of the parallel coordinate axis, x, y or z. Then we have to perform the specified rotation about that axis. We already have the matrices for rotation about the principal axis. Then we have to translate the object back to its original position. So here in the picture it is shown that the rotation axis, it gets coincide with onto x-axis. Then the rotation is performed by the given specified angle, and then again we have translated the axis back to its original position. Now other transformations are reflection and shearing. With the help of reflection we get the mirror image of any object. So here in the 3D reflection, the reflection is performed with respect to a selected reflection plane. So this is the reflection relative to the xy plane, and this is another transformation operation which is shear, z-axis shear. With the help of shearing we can transform the we can distort the shape of any object. So in the 3D shearing we can distort the shape of any 3D object. It will appear like that somebody is dragging it towards a particular direction. So this is the z-axis shear. Also there is a reflection relative to yz plane. For the yz plane we have to put this value as -1 and other diagonal one are positive. And in the x-axis shear we have to put the values of shearing. A and B are the shearing factors. A is the shearing factor in x direction, SHX, and B is the shearing factor in y direction, which is SHY. So this is the x-axis shearing. And now the reflection relative to xz plane, which is here I have put the minus sign and all other diagonal ones are positive. And for y-axis shear we have to put the A and B in the second column, and then we will get the y-axis shear. So in this way you can create x-axis, y-axis and z-axis shear, and also you can create reflection relative to xy plane, yz plane and xz plane. If you like this video, press the like button, share this video and also comment on this video, and please subscribe the channel. Thank you very much.